Well, greetings. And look like the chat box is here, but I don't see anyone. So let me give a few more minutes before I get started. If you're in the chat room, send a message so I know that you're here because I'm looking on the counter and they said it's people here, but I just don't see you. So hopefully you all can see me and hear me, because we've been having some issues. Okay, Lady Lotus, welcome. Greetings, divine aspirant mind on the divine. It's good to see you made it. Thank you for being here. So I'm just waiting get a few more people, but you know what? In all actuality, like I said, if you can just reach one, that's all that matters. The message still has to go forth. So I think my camera look like it's greetings, Baramna Baba. I'm glad to see you made it. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna get rid of clean my camera lens for a second. Yeah, I still look a little blurry, but I don't know. Hold on. Oh well. As long as you can hear the message, that's all that matters. So thank you, aspirant queens, for being here this evening. So hopefully we can get through the rest of the series, but we're going to take our time so that way our minds can be critiqued, as the Divine Mother has said. She said she's rises to critique the minds of the elect. So this platform is for me to be able to bring forth my portion and contribution to add to our upliftment, empowerment, and the transferring and the renewing of our mind first, because whatever in our minds, our bodies must follow. It's connected. Okay, so um, I'm grateful that the Divine Spirit has chosen um, for us to come together and utilize this platform while we have the opportunity, because the powers that be is truly ready, willing, and able to activate, or what I would call let the dogs out, to release their devices they created, they give it, and they take it away. But everything that is created in a tangible sense, as well as flesh and blood, comes from a substance that the divine spirit has created. So therefore, the divine and her seven laws of the universe still govern all things. So even out of the pride and ego of the minds of men and women, the divine still, she knows our thoughts before we think them, and our words before we speak them. So whatever they plan to do is already revealed. And those things that they try to keep secret is already manifested in the divine infinite intelligence of our divine mother. Let's see. Parama, lady, I dropped my phone in the water. Huh? I was chatting with us. Oh my goodness, really? Just now? Baramna, Baba, you just dropped your phone in the water? Oh my goodness. Was wondering about the way you spell peace and love in lower and uppercase letters. Hmm. Lady. Oh no. No, last night. Oh, wait a minute. I think I received. Did you send me a text in reference to you dropped? Because I did read something about somebody had dropped the phone, but I was going through the phone so much I didn't get to read everybody's messages entirely. Okay, you say this. There's my message. Okay. Um. Okay. So, are you on your phone now? So it dried out enough for you to utilize it, or are you on your computer or laptop? Oh, okay. Yes, you did. Okay. Well, I'm glad you have a backup device. That's what allows you to be here tonight, right? It writes on phone. Oh, okay. Oh, so the rice pull out the moisture of the foam. Well, that's good to know. I bet you a lot of people didn't know that. You should patent that. Yeah, patent it and say, I got a cure for, as a matter of fact, wow, it might be too late. Yeah, because I loaned somebody one of my phones, and they called me on another phone, and they told me they made a mistake and left it out in the rain overnight, and so it's not working. It's ruined. Um, but if I would have known about the rice, but I don't know, being out in the rain all night might have not helped it because it was out in the rain all night versus you dropping it in the water and then be able to retrieve it right away. That I believe that was helpful. Um, Greetings, civil oracles. It's good to see that you made it here. Um, we got our time zone in line. Yeah, because I just got off the phone with Civil Oracle. She's actually an hour behind. So we figured out why she was always an hour late coming in, but you're always right on time whenever you get there. But now we figured it out. She was shooting for 9:30 her time, which would make me an hour ahead of her. So she come in, but we got it straight now. That's all. Yeah. So, well, I'm gonna take this opportunity um, to do the salutations. Oh, excuse me. The salutation and proclamation uh, for our introduction, laying the platform down, acknowledging our everlasting parent. Uh, Greetings, Serene. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here this evening. Thank you for being here, for your presence. All of you all are significant. So I'm glad that you're followed your spirit guide and brings us together. Oh, there go Dewanda. Dewanda Nelson. Greetings. It's a blessing to have you here. What do you say? Greeting family, not here long. I have to work at 5 a.m. Yeah, my intention is just to have a 2 hour program, but I notice every last one of these series go into, well, oh, look, Delicate Lace is here. Yeah, peace, everyone. I'm not able to join live streams. My phone is super lagging with YouTube and Instagram. I paid $22. Um, okay. I don't know. I guess I need to understand. So, are you on your laptop instead of your phone? Um, well, I'm just glad that you're here. Oh, you said $230 for this phone that don't connect. What? What is it? Sprint, T-Mobile. I don't know. That sounds like. Is it an Apple? I don't know. And you can't connect to the internet, and you pay that kind of money for a phone. Mm. Okay. Okay. So I'm getting ready to lay the platform and um, go into the salutations and proclamations. And so, of course, we have to, due to the fact that the subject matter is the um, aspirant test, and we're revealing strongholds and stumbling blocks, then of course I always will want to do a proclamation and acknowledging those strongholds and stumbling blocks that we be empowered to release this in this time of purification and for our elevation. For the Divine Mother is here for give us counsel that we be able to be critiqued and we get rid of the what you call the little foxes that can spoil the vine. So I take this time to say we come in our own individual names. Um, I come in the name of Paulia, Hadassah, Moshe, and then everyone who's in agreement can say your own name because we need not a mediator nor a narrator for just as well as our parents in the flesh and blood gives birth, and we have a birthright to go directly to our parents and request and seek protection, provision, counsel, and comfort. And that same wisdom first comes from above unto down here to beneath. So that means we can also have that same direct connection to our everlasting, omnipotent, and omnipresent and omnipotent benevolence and infinite intelligence of our everlasting parent. So we do not need a go between. We have a direct line to our everlasting parent. So by the power of our birthright and the blood of the solar system that runneth through our veins and our time of resurrection, um, we take authority over all curses, hexes, and spells, and um, any evil practices of the oppressor and the colonizers in their indoctrination and dogmas. Their wicked witchcraft, because ours is a spirituality, but since they utilize their so-called self-appointed knowledge, then they are the ones who are practicing witchcraft because they use it for evil. So we also, there's satanic rituals, um, their incantations and evil wishes that they have been sent upon us that may have a boomerang effect. So what they meant for us, that the divine can turn it around and use it as their own judgment against them who have not, who will not um, confess their sins and truly repent and turn away from their evil and wicked ways, the way they think and the ways that they do. So all the way down to the generations of the millennium of today and the bloodline of against the seed of the serpent that is against the seed of the woman. We ask the divine to break their influence over our lives, the way we think and the way we do, what we pursue, devouring our power because of lies And we ask our everlasting parent to continue to allow us to stand firm as we grow in true knowledge and understanding, to understand upon her truth and her wisdom and her infinite intelligence as we reflect her love and her beauty of being able to speak the tongue of the learned, and that we produce and manifest the actions of the learned. So I ask our everlasting that, they replace all those things that were meant for evil, what they call our light, they call darkness, and what they call evil, they call good when it comes to concerning our ancient of day culture. As the divine spirit tells us to look to the old path, look to the ancient of days, to look to our ancestors. So that message is not a suggestion, it's a requirement. So I give thanks in this present time of eternity, in this day and hour, that her word is being manifest. And those who seek the truth will be able to hear the truth. And when you hear it, then we can stand on that true, full foundation of her truth and be the recipient of her truth. So if the words that are meditation, the meditation of my heart and the words that come from my mouth is acceptable unto our everlasting parent, that she may grant it accordingly and shine a light upon our path and upon our feet, and all that we set our hands and our hearts and our mind to do. May she grant it and continue to bless us and cover us and show us favor and give us peace. So that's the salutation. Let me see. Peace and love, civil witchcraft. They do witchcraft around me to put my energy down. Oh, yes. Yeah, but knowledge is the power to be able to acknowledge it and to get rid of it. And so that's the reason why that we come together, that we strengthen and uplift one another, that we be the vessels to pray for one another, encourage one another, that we empower one another, uplift one another, you know. So it's a beautiful thing to recognize but still not be hurt, because no weapon will form against us and no sickness or disease shall prosper. So I give thanks and I give honor to our everlasting parent who has you in her hands, and that she'll cover you and protect you and let the enemies flee. So I'm going to share one of the poems in perspective that the Divine Mother has given me in 2017, to put some things in perspective. Um, and now today, we're actually going to go over. Uh, did I misplace my? Okay. We're going to address false pride. We're going to address greed, and we're going to address transcending duality. And depending on, we have jealousy, and we have vanity, and we have egotism left. So that would actually be the last three. And I don't know, we might be able to breeze through it, but today is the fifth episode in reference to with the Divine Spirit on this series of the aspirant tests that she has given me. So I'm going to share with you the poem of Overstand, to put things in its perspective of how we can work together and what the purpose thereof, and acknowledging this divine energy that the Divine Mother, our everlasting parents, the masculine as well as the feminine, because he is the energy force to confirm the law and the principle of the life giver, the source of life. So in every neighborhood, there is an opportunity to create a Lions Pride community. So women of counsel and men of protection to unite together the melanated family's perfection that the enemy has continued to try to suppress and oppress. So allowing our children to have a left foot forward of protection, uniting our colonized indigenous international borders unto the right direction of leader of contenders and not followers of the disagreeable strangers. Among us are the directions of leaders and the enmity no more warmonger devourers. We be the head and not the tail. We given the reason for a legitimate school bell. The lenders and not the borrowers are perpetuating sorrow like our colonizers and their emptiness and follow. And they continue to perpetuate sorrow. Among every melanated nation, there is room to be healed and wounds to be healed from unaddressed issues of our enemies conquering thrills and the principalities unto, I guess, we as a people may continue to this four corners of the diaspora nation. Consider that a people who don't treat us right and who has enslaved us and who has exploited us and demised us and their wicked schemes and principalities until we as a people recognize that those who heinously treat us and castrate us and has raped us and exploit us and GMO poison us had come to the conclusion that a people who don't treat us right can't teach us right in their church nor their state institutions. So our everlasting parent continually may us to be able to be awakened and arise with her strength, arise to meet and groom her minds of the elect, select, and that she be able to impart in us the ability to overcome atrocities and hypocrisy and innocent calamities of the innocent. So with us as an understanding, the eternity creating unlawful insecurities, with her their police brutalities, we must realize that they do not treat us right. If we want to find peace, we have to find it in a unity of type, of Ubuntu, where I exist, you exist, we exist because we are one. In every melanated soul and spirit, there is power to be victorious without the validation of our enemy's evil legendary emancipation. With our notorious forked tongues and misery, with their and our self-appointed religious preachers and political leaders, promise peace to those who pay them, and threaten war unto them that don't. Peace will be obtained when we recognize in our veins is the DNA blood of the divine legacy and fame. Whitewash artificial intelligent teachers infiltrated our ancient Ma'at and golden age consciousness of moral thoughts and actions with 7 laws of the universe attraction that we can't be eternally entertained. Every melanated woman and man's heart has the ability to proclaim and restart the status of the ancestors' intelligent fame. And every Black man is a protector and a provider And every Black woman is a counselor and a comforter. When two become one, the battle is already won. Starting with the counsel of the woman's wisdom, of her divine mind, to the end of time. Her hands and her heart hold the solution for our homeland revolution. In every neighborhood, there is an opportunity of alliance, of exploited communities' compliance, and joint reliance of the outcast of the nations, women of counsel, and men of protection. We must rise up of the perfection of the lioness and lions and their cubs reuniting for our rights together as a melanated family perfection, allowing our children left foot forward, and that there no longer be of the followers but the leaders in the right direction of leadership contenders, eliminating the pretenders of the LGBT and now P and Z devourers. We the head and not the tail, given a reason for a legitimate school bell. So the lenders and not the borrowers perpetuate in sorrow. In every melanated nation, there are lessons to be healed, lesions to be healed, unaddressed issues of our enemies conquering thrills, continue to kill the oppressor's falsified history to create a ghetto mentality while empowering our enemies' principalities in need of historical apologies. The Bible says that enmity is between the serpent and the woman. Therefore, our men protect us so we can bring this foolishness, illusion, and delusion to a conclusion. The mother of all nations near and far, now rise up to bruise our enemy's head, put an end unto the serpent's seed and their heartless agents, masquerading as a natural law image gender, the great deceiver and pretenders, a surrogate, mindless, fruitless wickedness, and a defilement perpetuating a hidden agenda. A self-proclaimed entitlement contenders, serpent masquerading as the woman with their falsified bosoms and their artificial wealth of stagnant putrefied milk, a vain and foolish thing of their imagination, causing gender confrontation, cutting off, sewing up, tucking in natural organs of our birth and the organ that determines your unique, genuine assortment of importance. Pills for estrogen, wanting to be feminine, wigs and extensions of carbon copy acceptance, high heels for perverted thrills, twerking for the advertisement and perverted travesty. But a real mind of a king can tell you're a phony version. All this masquerading as an imitation woman still leaves them in confusion and exclusion from the womanhood of divine inclusion. Therefore, the serpent seed cast out of the garden, on your belly you shall plead. Their heart become hardened from jealousy of divine feminine reproductivity, that they can caught up hold to the woman's heel in pursuit to delay our divine destiny seal. But my fierce protection to my lion's pride empowers me to devour our enemy's serpent tribe, flipping the script, now to inflict the fatal wound upon their head, and they shall bleed out the lies until they are dead. Roar. So this is also gives us an opportunity to recognize our awakening spirituality and the purpose thereof. You know, unfortunately, there's one big obstacle that stands in our way, and that's the ego. And we'll cover more about the ego um, later on in our lesson. But at the same time, emphasizing things we like while rejecting the things that we do not like. Varama says roar. Thank you, Sister Aspirant Lioness. So we're going to start off with the false pride. So yesterday, well, actually, we've already did the power. Let's see, power, money. Um, let's see, power, money. Oh yeah, fame, um, sexuality, desire, attachment, transcending her fear, and selfishness. So today we'll go over the false pride. Okay. So this session is basically to be summed up in where it is written that after pride cometh the fall. And, our adversaries, the oppressors, they have exalted themselves so high. The higher you exalt yourself, the harder the fall. And so those who exalt themselves shall be abased, but we who humble ourselves shall be exhausted. I mean, that's it, exhausted. Well, sometimes this journey can make you feel exhausted, but exalted. So this is one of the great tests that comes with power and fame and money. Where the ego becomes inflated. I was trying to wait because there's um there's supposed to be some lions coming into the group tonight. Uh, so I'm gonna hold on and cover integrity while I'm gonna give them about 10 minutes to see if they show up. The brothers, it's always nice to have the lions, the potential minds of the kings in the chat room among the aspirant queens as well. Um, but this is an opportunity to hear the wisdom of the masculine as well as the feminine. I did get a text, and one of them's in the shower, but that was like some maybe 10 or 15 minutes ago. So they should be coming on shortly. Let me see. Let me check the text because it looks like somebody did text me. Okay. Let me see. Um, Thank you for your patience. Okay, he's taking a shower. Okay. The other one, I don't know, he probably fell asleep as usual. But nevertheless, what we're preparing for, like the full vision, is to re-establish the monarch integrity. So it's very important that we get a clear understanding of what integrity is and how that we can actually come to the conclusion that leadership does not practice integrity. Um, let's see. Yeah, they don't practice integrity. Even the government, in all actuality, justice wouldn't be something that people have to request. It would be something that people get on a regular basis. Whenever they're in question of any laws or the breaking of laws, it's about you know um, having justice done on behalf of innocent lives, not perpetuating lies in reference to what they teach us in school, the lies that they teach in churches, the lies that they build the White House on, everything. It would be rooted in justice, integrity to produce swift justice. So as a matter of fact, our everlasting parent, she gave me a breakdown probably about 11, maybe 11 years ago in reference to um, like religion. Um, I mean, not religion, politics. So just being able to put that in perspective of their greed and their falsehood and their hero worship and all of that. I'm getting ready to share that. I might have shared this before, but it's so obvious. And anytime I have an opportunity to share it from our Divine Mother's perspective of how she's given it to me some years ago, I'm going to take this opportunity to share it with you as well. So when she revealed to me that she set up kings and she also take them down, nobody is in their position, even though they would acknowledge themselves of making that choice. The divine has the power over who that she gives this authority to do. In order for us to be able to recognize our strength in these last days and these powers, she allowed the one thing that she knew that the people would be able to see and discern differently and clearly the state that they in, because some people had thought they reached the American dream because taking hold on to materialistic things, but at the same time it's like she had to show us what was in the minds of the people who we think that we are now getting along with. They still have an agenda, and like Agenda 21, the depopulation control, and they used us until they can't use us no more. And we're still a threat to them simply because we exist. So she revealed to me by their greed and their arrogance and their falsehood and their hero worship among one another and their injustice taken to extremes and organized into teams, like their nations and parties and interest group. It's like people have a group and it's like you're their pet project. We become their pet project. And that's another reason why I don't join any 501c3s, because, they're actually given privilege to talk about our problem, but not really coming up with any solutions for the problem, because they pretty much are more profitable talking about it and then, collecting money for it, but not contributing into the community that actually needs it. So it's the struggle for their group and hero and their own viewpoints so that they can profit at the expense of others. So this forced others to do the same, basically, in defense. It's like how they say, if you can't beat them, join them. So they're just, our people are in survival mode. And unfortunately, a lot of people see things that are happening, but yet people are being prosperous from the atrocities. They can't, out of fear, are not even recognizing their own strength and power. They take it out on one another. So it causes an endless loop and a downward spiral, and with no gain effect. So when money, religion, and politics are intermingled, they form a true inescapable trap or a bottomless pit. So it's the opposite of compassion and cooperation and justice and wisdom, and causes us to expand dramatically more effort and time and resources than necessary to achieve the lesser results than are possible when we simply cooperate and have compassion and empathy and charity for each other. So it is, we have to now understand that the same system that exploits us and demise us is not going to give us a hand to uplift us. That's something we have to do on our own. And then this is so vast globally, whether it's round or flat, that it's going to take a few dedicated, the remnant, excuse me, it's going to take the remnant that the divine is awakening and calling out in order to establish that foundation, that rock, that solid foundation, in order to be the repairers of the breach. So, nevertheless, harmony and cooperation are on the perfect path, while politics and religion and their monetary system are ignorance and strong lies and strong delusions and utter folly. So basically, the primary, though hidden purpose of politics is to effectively divide and conquer populations who support and participate in these great delusions. You know, when I first heard of a president when I was a little girl, I literally stopped in my tracks. And I remember asking my daddy, I was like, hold up, how can one person be a president over millions of people? How can one person tell you what you can do and what you can't do? How can one person, daddy, um, tell people what they can't do and what they can do in their own homes? You know, that just never made sense to me. And I grew up with that same mentality. It just doesn't make sense. You know, so when you actually look to our ancient days, to our culture, everyone was sovereign, you know, from the beginning. You know, like how they say a man is the king of his own castle. Well, you know, whether it's in a hut or in a palace, you know, the queen mother and her co-regent, who she chooses to be that protector and that enforcer of her laws and her principles. Um, we all have that respect in our own homes, whether in a village or a nation or an empire. You know, we have that type of respect for one another. So, through their hidden purposes of their politics, is to effectively divide and conquer not only in our homes, as individually and collectively as a community or a nation, who support and participate in these great delusions. So politics serves to dramatically slow and confound major problems, persist and perpetuate for centuries. This is the reason why the same thing that MLK spoke, Malcolm X spoke, Marcus Garvey spoke. They still are here now today. These same leadership positions are still requesting the same thing. It was never, politics was never set up from the beginning in order to actually help the people, especially when you have to self appoint and assign people to be the voice of the people, but yet still not hear the true voice of the people because they know that the exposure of what is being talked about, but yet being failed to be addressed, it would be the biggest problem. So they create these little uh, I guess you call their agents, their puppets, you know, to be the voice on behalf of the people, with no full intent to be to relieve the people. So we find people finally cooperate within ourselves as our own community to solve problems for the good of for all problems. Then we can finally solve and stay solved once we start within ourselves and not look to a system that has no intention of releasing us from that stronghold and that stumbling block. So participating and supporting politics causes the problems to persist. So like um, I would say like I have an interest, but I would go in as an independent. That way I can speak the words of the people. I can actually speak about the issues that need to be resolved. But Democrat and Republic, those are the two seats that they have of self-appoint. The blue is supposed to take care of the worker, the middle class, and then the red is supposed to be the rich. But I actually found out that the Republican Party actually in the beginning started off as a voice of the melanated community. And then somewhere down the line, they switched the bait. But nevertheless, because of the ability of those who are in control of the money, religion, and politics, reverse and past progress and prevent true cooperation. Politics is great deception and a trap, and the opposite of truth and wisdom and justice. So we have to, the divine is getting ready to set up in one of the prophecies. It says, in the midst of all these kingdoms, the divine spirit will set up a kingdom in the midst of these kingdoms, and it will destroy all these other kingdoms, and it will not be given unto the another people. So this way, the people that the divine spirit gave it to in the beginning to be the teachers to all other nations, kingdoms, and empires are be the recipient as the descendants who we are will inherit that blessing once again. So let's see. Absolutely made a president overseas the American company. Yeah, because that's all it is. It's a corporation. You know, that's why everything is business focused. It's all about money, all about titles, all about prestige. You know, and I was watching a video, you know, how they would go to our islands and the coastal lines of our people, and they have these fine resorts and this, that, and the other. And they just be sitting back, you know, drinking their teas and still enjoying a melanated person at their beck and call or whatever. But then the divine spirit brought back to my remembrance of a prophecy that says that basically those who live high and off of the blood and the sweat and the exploiting of the people, they're going to lose their little summer houses, and they're going to lose their prestigious, and they're going to be dressed in rags, you know, all type of things. So there are going to be. It's been long lived, but yet short. And then when they fall, it's going to they're going to fall hard. Barama Baba says the royals have the business title to America. Yeah, and you know what? I actually have like an inkling, excuse me, that up under the so-called Queen of England's chair, there's a box up under that chair. And I believe inside that box is so much truth that can truly set our people free. You know, whether it be documents or whatever. I believe the contract of who is actually who they are and the land and the property and everything is up under that seat. And then at one time, I actually had like a premonition as if the head of Hashaput was under that. It was in that box because that's the one thing they could not ever get over, and they tried to erase her name from every wall, every statue, every pillar. Is for that black woman to become what they call a pharaoh, but a neteret, what some people might consider gods or a goddess. But she took on a position in a patriarchal system, and she did great work. So you familiar with her Sapu, the royal? Wow. Oh yeah, I really truly believe that because they could never figure out whatever happened to her body, you know, and I truly believe that has something is up under that chair that is going to, once it's revealed, that I believe that's going to be the key that's really going to bring them fall. And, in my journey, if the spirit says go for it, I'm going for it. Because I should that it's been on my mind for so many years. About Hesed, you wasn't aware of Haseput taking on a position of a pharaoh, and she would dress herself with, they all wore these fake beards, but the fake, the gold teaks, little thing, it's supposed to represent status, of leadership and this, that, and the other. And so her nephew was the one who was assigned, but he was too young, so she took upon it herself, to be not only the queen, but to be the king as well. And she dressed herself in the garb and the mighty works by herself, and she was the head, the leader, the architect, everything, so they are actually a German family. Lotus, Lady Lotus, who's a German family? Can you clarify? Uh, so, as we wait for her to respond, okay. So, what is integrity? So, we're supposed to build a monarch of integrity. So, um, it means nothing is missing. It is totally complete. It is whole. It's like uh, it's like integrity of all your capacity to utilize your six senses of your sight, seeing and perceiving, your ears for hearing and understanding or understanding, your nose. And another thing about our nose is broad because we have a gift of great discernment, so like when you smell something, why do you smell something? Why do you pick up something and go, well, that sense is like discerning the scent of the object of what it is that you're picking up. So you can discern food, whether if it's good or whether if it's spoiled. You can discern whether it's something smells sweet or something smells sour. You can smell to discern whether if something is pleasing to the senses or it's not. So the gift of discernment is to have the ability of your whole faculty of your mouth, well, the power of the tongue and the tongue of the learned, or rather, if you want to use it in a layman's term, the ability to taste, but the ability to speak, discern, hear, see, and this is your first eye, which is your mind, is to be able to perceive, So that's the beauty of the divine uh, the gifts, the different gifts that she's given. So um, there is no discrepancy between what a person of integrity appears to be on the outside and who he is on the inside, because whatever within is supposed to, illuminate on the outside as well, you know. So um, there is no what they call duplicity in his life, being wavery one way or another way, this way. This, when you have a government of integrity, you have set laws, and that will not be altered. Now, in our own personal lives, we can be we have the we have the right to change our minds, but when it comes to something that's going to be impactful um, upon a people as a whole, you can't change it. You can't be wavery, because see, the truth changes things, but yet the truth itself change, it's not. So it doesn't waver. It's not acceptable one day and disagreeable the next day. The law is power, and it tolerates no rivals. So, does it mean that integrity is perfect, like within ourselves? People of integrity can sin and fall because we are an example of making mistakes, but mistakes are there to help us learn. Is integrity a form of honor? Yes, it is. It's a form of valor and virtue. Integrity doesn't need honor unless it's being given from somebody else who utilized honoring you or saluting your work. But actually, integrity is virtue and valor, like a virtuous woman and a man of valor. They just do things because it's the right thing to do, and they don't speculate or have to contemplate rather about the actions they're getting ready to do because it's already set firm within their mind and in their spirit to do the right thing, no matter what the cost is. So, but people have been disobedient in their process of learning what integrity is, and that's what I can raise my hand and say, I'm here, because I made plenty mistakes before I even knew anything about the divine spirit intervening into my life. But there's something within us that she sees and she knows, and she's chose, and that she's called to be part of the repairers of the breach. Um, you're welcome, Barama Baba. And to repairers of the breach, to put back, reestablish. It's like sometimes, like, when you're building, there's a carpenter's rule, measure twice and cut once. So it's like, but from a human perspective, sometimes we just gotta keep measuring up, measuring up, measuring up until we get a full understanding of what it is as a person and how you can be effective in your own household, your own community, and to utilize your presence in a beautiful and divine way to help others. And helping others is actually helping yourself because you're able to be able to see your true self, and sometimes it takes a situation that we might not necessarily be accustomed to bring out either the positive or the disagreeable so we can actually see it, so we can make a change. Yes. Barama Baba. Yes, it's a process. It's a daily process of growing. Yes, and then the student, is always ready, willing to learn. And that's a beautiful thing, because when you teach a wise person something, then they just become wiser. But when trying to educate stupid people, I'm gonna just say stupid. I just can't always use the word ignorant, but some people just don't know they're being used, and they're being used and don't know they're. I need to learn how to cut these. What do you call these notifications off when I'm on? Do you all hear that those notification alerts coming on my um, computer? Oh, there she is, cutie pie. Greetings. So you said, oh, greetings. Okay, lady. Oh, you can hear the alert sounds. Yeah, I gotta figure out how to cut that off when I'm doing live stream. I'm glad to see you was able to make it. Divine cutie pie lioness. I got your message in reference to the brother that you were inviting into the group. I haven't noticed a male figure yet. My husband is under one. My husband is under one. It's two of us. Oh, okay. So he's on the line with you. Um, I just because there's a delay, in the conversation. So, okay. Yeah. So, we're talking about integrity because I was actually trying to give you some time, and another brother, Mr. Edward, who said that he would be in the room tonight. So before I actually got into the lesson itself, um, it's it's too divine. He is signed in on another phone under my account. Oh, okay, so that's gonna be confusing. Under the same name. Okay, so I just gonna have to pay attention to what's being said and try to figure it out. Or maybe like if you say something, you can put a lioness in front of yours, so I know it's the female. Or he can put lion in front of his, so I can know it's him. But nevertheless. Okay, I'm glad that you're both here and you made it. So that's the most important. So, nevertheless, people who have the potential of integrity, we have had learned from our own um, falls and discipline. And so we make mistakes, but keep remembering that the universe is immeasurable. So the divine spirit, she allows us to make mistakes, and the universe can utilize it and give us an opportunity to see it so we can achieve better and wiser choices. So, but nevertheless, but that we are quick to admit our mistakes and we get up and keep it going. So that's where integrity comes in. We recognize our mistakes, and being able to recognize our mistakes give us an opportunity to recognize the solution. And we may fall, but we're quick to get up. We're very flexible because we are serene, and we have a demeanor of being poised and confident and calm no matter what. We might show a reaction in emotions for a few minutes, but we're capable of being flexible, of bringing things back to the center so we can examine and then we can apply to multiply a better choice. So that's the beautiful thing of recognizing your mistakes so you can recognize the solution and not let the problem devour you, but let the experience empower us. So, Civil Urca says, life without mistakes, how would that look? It would be like a robot, and we're not robots. Though I can be honest with you, I have asked the divine spirit to just make me in a robot so I don't keep, making mistakes, because this journey, this path that is so important for me to be able to be obedient and do what I've been called, chosen, and sent to do. So sometimes I get so overwhelmed or like overthinking or just not wanting to fail. I mean, because to consider what we're being called and chosen to do individually and collectively, it's a big job. And for the divine to choose a person like myself to do what she's called and chosen and sent me to do. I just don't want to make any mistakes. So I used to get bent out of shape and just tell her just make me into the robot. So quickly, right when you tell me to do something, I just want to be able to do it without thinking about it. I just want to do it, follow instructions and just do it. But bringing it to the center, it's like, no, no. I mean, she's already considered. Some takes a little longer than others, but in order for our loyalty and our compassion and our zeal to truly be in line with honesty and integrity, it has to come from a life of experiences instead of a life of instructions and just being because you're programmed to do so. Because even our resilience, I mean, yeah, our resistance as well as our resilience has its part. So lion greetings. Okay, there's the lion. Greetings and welcome. I'm glad you were able to make it. Thank you for your masculine energy in the midst of all these lioness. And we're looking forward to you sharing your knowledge, your insights, your perspective, um, and your wisdom. And we just thank you for being here and from a male perspective of just sharing. There is another brother that's supposed to be in here. I don't know. I didn't go back to look and see, because sometimes when I be talking, I lose contact with the chat room and just be letting the spirit flow. But welcome, Lion. Greetings. Okay, so in reference to um, integrity, basically stands for like soundness of our moral principles and character. And so, in honesty and uprightness, a man of valor, a protector, a provider in his own right, his counsel in his own right, in his comfort, embracing his woman and his children in his own right. Um, we have to recognize the strength of the man as well as the man recognizing the strength of the woman versus the lion and the lioness. So um, it's kind of like an adjoining, when two come together, they become as one, and that comes in our ancient traditions, cultural traditions, where there's unity. There's no need for conformity because we recognize each other's um, existence and their contribution. And true love is to actually uplift and empower and encourage, and support one another in their visions and views. But if we recognize that that vision of view is going to be harmful to the household or the community, then you have to listen to the wisdom of the one who is going to say, no, we have to consider the community. We have to consider other people's feelings and their birthright and their being able to participate and how it's going to affect others. Because even in a lion and lioness pride, there's collaboration. They work together, but they recognize each other's strength. And then they get in their rightful positions and they work and they bring down their prey. So we're at war and it's not going to be done through physical contact, not by military might, and not by what you would say cavalry power. But it's like the one thing, the reason why the adversary or what you call the colonizers did not want us to speak and read their language until they came up with a language that was a pacifier instead of a magnifier of our true strength. Um, because they know the power of our tongue, especially if we're in connection with the divine spirit of our ancestors, of knowing the truth in reference to bringing forth our true identity and our culture and that spirituality, in spite of, well, instead of religion, which is nothing but man-made opinion of what it is that he will accept and what he doesn't accept. And then he looks at it as, that's where it becomes prideful and become an ego, because it's about selfishness and selfness, but we're all connected, so we have to take in consideration how something would affect us all. So here's that. Okay, got that one. I am greeting Barama Baba. There is a constellation by the name of Orion, and in his belt is laid with three bright stars, which means discipline, integrity, and humility, words to live by. Exactly. Thank you, Barama Baba. So, in the ancient world, the Roman soldiers, the officers would inspect their men, much like the inspections that occur every day in modern day army. But do the brothers, our sisters who are in the mindset of military or protection, do we really truly check each other? And I mean, like, check to make sure mentally that you're capable and you're ready to even fight the war. Now we can check to make sure that your weapons of war is in the proper condition so they can be used properly. But due to the fact that we will be using the divine word to speak what we're told to speak by the divine spirit of what she's going to confirm in order to bring down the system that has exploit us and oppress us and suppress us, even as it is this day. Um, a lot of people don't like to be checked or like to be questioned. I'm one of those people that I used to really have a problem with people asking me questions. I mean, because I used to like, okay, I don't have a problem speaking, but then when somebody turned around and would question me, oh my goodness, it's like I got this overwhelming surge of not estrogen, but what's the one for the men? Testosterone. Testosterone. And I think I must have got that one from my daddy because my daddy used to just get irate when he would be questioned. So that might have been something that passed over. But anyway, Sonia Anderson, welcome, greetings. Okay, I'm logged in under my another account, Divine Line. Oh, okay, okay. So when I see the, okay, so I got it now. I got it. All right. So to acknowledge um, and to be able to acknowledge that, it gives us an opportunity, when we ask questions, is for clarity, and it reveals the true honesty of a person. And I'm glad the divine spirit has delivered me from that, because like I said, I used to couldn't stand to be questioned, because I'm the type of person that's like, well, I'm sharing truth. That's all I was sent here to do. And now I'm ready to keep it moving. So, but then when people like question about personal things, I don't see no problem with letting them know you're asking or inquiring some personal things that I don't feel comfortable sharing with you. You can give them an answer without being combative or showing signs of disapproval. You can just speak what it is that's on your mind, and if it's accepted, that's a beautiful thing. But if it's not, then at least you spoke into the universe and you were being honest and you were being open and transparent. So, okay, I'm logged in. Civil Oracle. Yeah, I think that's a Virgo trait. My boyfriend is like that as well. Yeah, and my twin brother too. Yeah, we're Virgos, and our birthdays is next month, and yeah, but the beautiful thing is, at least I know I can recognize mine, and I can recognize the solution without getting all caught up in the emotion. So, um, integrity before personalities is always a good motto. So anyway, I'm going to move on to the teachings of our lesson today. In reference to we've already, excuse me, we've already covered power, money, fame, sexuality, desire, attachments, ascending fear. So today we're starting off with false pride. Okay. So anybody have any questions or concerns before I get started with the lesson? Sonia. Oh, that's Lioness Divine. Okay. My brother is a oh. Yeah, I can barely see that symbol, but that's a Virgo. Okay. Okay. All right. So, after pride, cometh the fall. So this is one of the great tests that comes with power, fame, and money. So will the ego become inflated? Will the personality fill itself with self? Um, I don't know. I would say like self aggression or self glorification. Is it in our own opinion that the number one cause of the fallen um, light bearers? Well, no, I don't like to use the word light bearers, but the I say the gatekeepers and the wisdom speakers is because of pride. It's a danger no matter what our level of initiation and whether we have achieved our ascension or not. It's something every remnant on our recipient, I love, excuse me, I was like recipient. Uh, I don't know why I'm having like a brain freeze all of a sudden. But us as aspirants, striving to reach a goal and pursue a higher knowledge, a higher insight, a higher position of being trustworthy and responsible because we will be held accountable. This is very important for us to recognize false pride and how it can be a ruin, like a stumbling block or a stronghold to keep us from reaching our goal of a divine destiny and a purified legacy. So what we are dealing with here in this process of this paradigm shift that we are making, that we're part of, the superiority and the inferiority complex is very real. Um, so basically, the other side of false pride is what we can consider negative humility. You know, okay, a negative humility, and it's just as bad as false pride. Pretending to be something on the outward appearance, but yet your inner spirit, your inner heart and your inner motives and your inner agenda, it would be short lived, because eventually those things that you try to suppress that is not true to your nature will manifest. And then that'll allow people to actually see the true you, or even your actions will actually confirm whether the words that you speak is in line with the words that you put out there as a description of who you are versus your actions. So it's important to be able to recognize the difference between the two, but yet they can be up under the one banner. False humility is just as bad as false pride. So due to the fact that the negative ego is the top side, the heavy side. This is inferiority complex and low self-esteem. So some people just, feel more empowered when they make others feel have low self esteem, or they become like dictators in their lives, or they become like people who have to be in control of everything. Those people who feel like they have to put the focus more on themselves and then others to feel superior. That's a true low self-esteem and lack of self-worth. So they can only find it by putting other people down. So poor self-concept and feeling undeserving and the likes. People just can't find their power unless they have power over somebody else. Um, conspiracy. Yeah. Now, you might need to define what your DL stands for. Um, but nevertheless, um, so basically, I will say the key to the inner peace is to transcend duality in this regard, and both the superiority and the inferiority complex must transcend or release oneself from the negative ego grasp. So laugh them off the stage. And if it's a part of you, recognize it and to get rid of it, basically. To be stuck in either one is stay stuck in both of them. So it's not a characteristic that is would be rooted in integrity, because you're to know yourself is not to lie to yourself, because it's about advancement. So I enjoy that. Narcissist and divine lioness. Uh-huh. Lioness divine. You changing it around now. You want divine lioness? I thought it was lioness divine. What happened to the other one that you were telling me you were thinking about? You were considering. Okay, well maybe now this this is lioness divine cutie pie, right? At the bottom, the last person who spoke, and Sonia, and that looks familiar. Okay, I'm not gonna get caught up in that right now. Okay, so the issue of transcending duality is one of the least understood concepts of oh yeah, you how you pronounce that? Understood concepts of the spiritual path. Um, so there is another way of thinking beyond the duality of ego, which is called, our divine consciousness. So it is so unfortunate to see on the earth incredible spiritual so-called teachers and seventh degree initiates and fantastic channels and be taken over by the self aggrandizement and self glorification. So, no matter how great these teachings and channelings and are their books, is completely poison the work and create a push-pull dynamic among the students. So these great spiritual teachers who are bringing through some incredible energies and information become synonymous with the ego instead of the glory of divinity, giving the glory unto our divine. If you notice, it's very rare that you can actually be watching a channel that has all this powerful information and they don't even spend 1 or 2 minutes giving praise to the source that has made it possible for them to even have the information. And that's the reason why I can't do nothing but acknowledge the divine spirit, because I know I wouldn't be speaking the words that I'm speaking and doing the things that I've done and doing without the divine spirit. So I have to acknowledge where my source and that power and that enlightenment and that encouragement and empowerment comes from, because on my own, just showing as my how I used to live before divine intervention happened. So it basically showed me what I would be doing on my own without any guidance. So why not give the glory to the one who made the change? Because when the truth comes, it's supposed to change you, but yet that truth stays the same from the beginning of time. So yeah. So basically, so no matter how great the teacher is and how much information that they have, to see that they truly don't even acknowledge it's about them. It's like they want the glorification. You see, so many people would get upset, you know, if they're not even acknowledged in reference to the work that they put in. But there is a what you call a parable um, in reference to letting. I think it was the what's the name of that parable? But it's about the penny. Every worker would get the same amount. And at the end of the day, the same people who's been working out in the field for 20 and 30 years, and then when it was time to get paid, the same people who only been on the scene for 1 or 2 days got the same amount of money that the people who's been out there in the field. So um, they were very upset that why should they get the same amount I've been out there in the field longer than they have. Well, obviously, it's not about how long you've been doing it, because it's even told that the divine spirit keeps it from the wise and the prudent and give it unto babes. You know, because some people make it about teaching the message instead of actually implementing it. You know, so if they truly was hearing from the divine spirit, they would actually give an opportunity among the people that they're teaching to manifest the teaching instead of just paying, having people come and pay to listen to lectures and not really giving any same day solutions of how they can apply it so they can multiply and then make wise decisions and make a difference in their in their homes and then in their communities. Right. Much gratitude. Yes. Gratefulness. So these great spiritual teachers who are bringing through some of this tragic, it's a tragic thing when they focus on self and not focus on others. It's something we need to learn from, and we will need to constantly be on guard for the negative ego. Is incredibly tricky and seductive and can enter in the slightest moment, and any one of us goes on automatic pilot. So the slightest moment, uh, things can change when people who make their business or acknowledge those things. He fell asleep. I'm back. My great big lion is snoring. Oh my goodness. Now, what happened to the other brother? Or is this the one you was talking about that you were bringing with you today? So my voice just put him to sleep, huh? Let's see. Sybil Orgo, she tells me that she listens to me before she goes to sleep. So that's very touching. That's beautiful. I personally wouldn't think that I have the type of voice that somebody would want to hear before they. But nevertheless, we can be hard on ourselves. I don't know. I know what I hear versus I don't know what somebody else hears. But like when I hear myself on recordings and stuff, yes, every night your voice is soothing. Really? It's like I just hear something entirely different to me. I need to stop focusing on that. Well, I appreciate that. I hear it in my dreams. It's really special. Oh, Sybil Urkel. Oh, that's very nice. Um, Brother Tech, he dropped his phone. He is up at 4 a.m. and home at 5 a.m. for work. Oh, okay. He dropped his phone in some water too. Sister, the Wada, I mean, Barama Baba, she dropped, Barama Baba, share with, Divine Hoodie the solution you found out today. Well, you might have already known about it, but share with her the solution of, wait a minute. Okay, so Divine Hoodie community, I love your voice. Hmm. Wow, really? Well, thank you. Wow. I got to now. Your voice carries that tone that resonates with my spirit. Um, ERTA kit. Oh, you mean Eartha kit? Oh, now I've had quite a few people say, um, Eartha kit, a cross between Eartha kit and Maya Angelou. I was like, okay. Yeah, Barama, thank you all for the compliments, the encouragement, and it helps. It helps, because in spite of how I view myself, um, even though the spirit says not to be concerned about how other people think about you, but I'm partly human as well as spiritual, and I just want to make sure that um, that you're receiving me, and it's not something that is difficult, trying to get past my voice, because unfortunately I have that issue with trying to get past my own voice because it's like it's right here. I mean, it's like right there. Oh yeah, she dried her phone in rice. I guess it pulled out the moisture. She dropped her phone in some water. You see it, Divine Lioness, or Lioness Divine, Cutie Pie, and Brother Tech can't see the chat because he dropped the phone. Did he did he drop it in water? Because Barama Baba has a solution. It's nice. It's beautiful. You can put your you can tell him to put it in rice like what immerse it in the dry rice, Barama Baba, at Divine Hoodie. Oh, Hoodie Hippie. I forgot you didn't sit. I'm the one calling it Hoodie Pie, Cutie Pie. Okay. But anyway, I learned something from Barama Baba. Like if you happen to immerse your phone in some water and you can retrieve it quickly, all you have to do is immerse it. I guess fully cover it in rice. I don't know, overnight. She says overnight, and it'll draw out the moisture uh, from your phone. Oh, he broke it. Oh, okay. Okay, so we're gonna move on to greed. Um, does anybody have anything to say or in reference to false pride? I mean, it's like a connection to an ego. To have a false valor, and like men are supposed to be men of valor. So could you imagine putting off this persona of you being strong, of being a warrior, being protective, and honorable. And then when the trouble comes, you're purring like a kitten, or you like you go hide because you don't want to be part of the battle. You're complete opposite of what you've been portraying for the whole time. That people have created a repertoire with you, a relationship with you, and believing and trusting in you, that you will behave a certain way, and then that falsehood reveal itself at an unopportune time when people are dependent and put their trust in you at a time most needed. So false pride, false anything false is it's kind of like the proverb that says those things that have been hidden will be revealed, and those things that's been kept secret will be manifest. Greetings, Alex Little. Welcome. Peace and blessings unto you. Oh no, you're like I said, whenever you get here, you're like right on time. So we just come out of the study on the false pride. So basically, after pride, when man self appoints or self exalts himself, he's going to have a great fall. And just being aware of the knowing that when you portray to be one thing on the outside, but you're the opposite on the inside. Basically, those things that's been hidden because of the outward persona versus the inward agenda or truth of one who has not truly yet know themselves. Because when you truly know yourself, you would only open your mouth and be put in a position or even say something that is going to allow you to be yourself. And you can be more acceptable of other people when you're being honest. And then wherever your faults are, just openly let people know in advance. Like me, I tell people the certain things that I struggle with. So when they see me behaving that way, they can bring things back to my remembrance, um, that I'm supposed to work on this. And that's a form of love when you truly love, when you're receptive, what they call it, constructive criticism. Um, because we're being molded, we're being critiqued in this hour. So up here, paper art assignment with my divine sister, Winkster, not Kingston. Winkerster, not gangster. Yes, divine, uh, hoodie, hippie, cutie pie. So we're going into greed now. So greed is truly a vile quality. Just take a look around us, the total misplacement of compassion energy, the energy of compassion, the energy of being able to want to make sure that everybody's needs and wellness is taken care of, to just want everything for yourself. Just it's just it's vowed, the quality of being vowed. So instead of being satisfied um, with our puzzle, our piece of the puzzle that our everlasting parent has given us, um, the negative ego quality of greed would have us to try to acquire other people's pieces in the glory of divinity's plan. But the divine says we're the clay, and the spirit is the potter. And if you're not suitable for one thing, to have the right to create you or make you more suitable for something else. Because some people are not satisfied with the divine gift that the spirit has given them, but in their rebellion spirit or their spirit of declining to be who they were assigned to be, the divine spirit can take that and still get the glory of it. But you just think of the blessing that you miss out on, um, trying to be somebody that you're not, or trying to take on somebody else's role that wasn't assigned to you. You never know where that road might lead you. But it's throughout history. Look at the colonizers and our ancestral fame and their DNA and everything that they stood for and that they have created a civilization. The enemy comes in to steal, kill, and destroy, because he has no true past of his own except for the attachment to a beast mentality, and our own ancestors taught them how to be civilized, and then turn around and become that so-called jealous God, because it's truly not talking about the divine creator of the universe and all the hosts thereof. So like the first time I seen it says God is a jealous God. I'm like, I literally threw. I mean, I actually tossed my book away because I was like, that doesn't even make sense. Why would you be jealous of the things that you create? That's kind of like Johnny Come Lately, um, taking on the entitlement and say, I, because of what I am or who I am, you're jealous of me. But yet I made you. Why would I be? I can make another one like you or even better than you. It's just silly. When it comes to indoctrination, it's amazing. Let's see. 811. Everyone stayed in their own lane. There would be no traffic. Yeah. And you know what? I actually have to say that when I'm literally driving. I'm like, pick a lane, stay in your lane, because I was like, today, I was like, I refuse to be part of that spirit of road rage. I'm going to see the ignorance of what it is. And since I can see it, then I cannot have to be part of it. I just recognize it is what it is and just keep it moving. Because I've been around some people that get so upset. And I noticed, remember I was telling you I was getting like really aggravated and aggressive lately for the past couple of weeks. And I'm like, where is this coming from? But I noticed today, because I walk out the house and I'm all calm, cool, calm, and then all of a sudden I get in my car and have to get on the road. And then all of a sudden I'm just this entirely different person. But see, it doesn't stay in the car. It would get out in the it would get out of the car in me, and then I'm going inside of places that type of spirit and attitude would be inappropriate for me to have. But unfortunately, I would snap at people, and they're not even deserving of it because that spirit was lingering. And so I was so grateful that our everlasting parent, that she loves us enough to say, okay, you weren't ready to receive the answer when you asked for it because you were dealing with so much, creating a spirit that wasn't there. You allowed it to take, well, I wouldn't say make take the best of you, but you allowed a situation for you to forget the teachings that I've given you. So it took 3 days basically for me to be quiet enough in my mind because I spoke it out of my lips. I said, I will not be taking this spirit of road rage anymore. I am, because it's not suitable. I mean, I can't profess our everlasting parent intervention of her teachings and then being betraying that type of attitude. So I am so grateful today that I saw it as it is, because I was like, because when I be trying to get to the radio station to do my live broadcast, I noticed that's when it actually really flares up the most, because I don't even examine that. Okay, well, you need to leave out of the house much earlier, and my alarm is to actually go off at least an hour before I'm supposed to be at the radio station. But because of I don't know, whatever it is that I'm dealing with, the next thing I know, I'm being pressed for time, and then I guess I act like if everybody's supposed to be in compliance to my time because I'm the one running behind. And then I get aggravated because people are driving slow. I'm grateful I haven't received a ticket because I'll be like in and out. Like I can foresee like people's blinkers way ahead of time, so I can just go on and get in and out of the traffic. And then when people do stupid stuff, then I address it, but then it's lingering. But you can't fix a problem until you recognize the problem. And then you remember that you have a solution to the problem, and that's being connected to the divine, everlasting, infinite, intelligent mind of our divine mother. Excuse me, y'all, but nevertheless. Okay, so let me catch up. Um, yes, he is straight fire. Ooh, who's he? Alex Little. Brother Ross is divine. Aparama Baba. Oh yes, it's my energies. A portal has been opened. CERN, letting all those angry energies out. Oh, so that's a good thing then, right? I'm releasing it. I'm releasing it because I can acknowledge it, so and I can speak it. Yeah, because as soon as I verbally, instead of just thinking it in my mind, and I verbally spoke it out, I was good. I was good. Yeah. My 8-year-old son said, "Your voice is powerful, and good night." Your son was on the Aw, I wish I would have known. Oh, well, tell him thank you. And I hope he can make himself known the next time so I could have spoke some powerful, encouraging words to him. Oh, that's beautiful, Barama Baba. I was glad you was able to bring your son on. And I love how you put him as S-U-N. Say your voice is powerful and good night. Well, kiss him on the cheek tonight before you go to bed and say, Mama Lioness says thank you. Mwah. I'll pass that on to you so you give it time. Alice Little says, yes, CERN is designed partially to intercept thought and recreate dark matter. It will never work. It will never work. What will never work? Because I'm not really into the. I am. This is where you all come in and iron sharpen iron, so you all can teach me. Even though I just told Lioness Divine that I've been sitting here on a cosmology book of our ancient Kemetic ancestors. This book been in this house for I know a month, maybe 2 months, and I forgot that I even purchased the book. And I happened to go through some of my books. I was looking for something, and lo and behold, this book falls out, and I'm like, "What is this?" And then when I saw the title, I'm like, "Oh my goodness!" The sister's been coming to me lately, talking about cosmology, portals, planets, cosmic, all kind of things. And I hear the spirit that already had me to purchase a book that get me prepared in the teachings of it, and I forgot that I even had the book. And so I've been reading it, but I noticed as far as from a Kemetic, the Nile Valley civilization, that a lot of our ancestors come from. This particular book is by Mutu Ashby. Hold on. Where did I? Hold on. Well, excuse. Now, this book right here, this is what our everlasting parent she gave me. Um, like probably I've been walking with her for 16 years. This book probably being in my possession at least maybe 12 years. Because when I was asking, because after the experience with the Hebrew Israelites and stuff just didn't line up with the things that she was revealing to me, I was like, okay, so I need some proof in reference to what you're telling me because I can see one or two scriptures in the Bible that would support that some of us are actually exiled Kemetic people and not Hebrew Israelites because that's still a title or an invention um, by some of our colonizers. But this is the book that our divine mother put in my possession, and not to mention in the Bible, it even mentions the exiled Egyptians. But it's very scarce, just like how they suppress and oppress the image of the divine mother, and you will hardly even hear the mentioning of women in their role in a lot of the so-called teachings in the Bible. But anyway, this is the book, Exiled Egyptian, The Heart of Africa. And this is by Mutas, Alpha Gadala. And when I first opened it, and okay, let's see. Well, this is the one I made it. No, I guess I could read. Okay. It's about the cosmos. This one. Are you all there? Okay, hold on. Okay. The religious belief, cosmology. This is a rare book, but I think you can still find it. Now, yeah, so let me just read this part. Sub-Sahara. Okay, well, let me catch up with you all because there's a lot going on in this chat room. I just want to make sure I'm not missing out on anything that was addressed to me. Let's see. They are shooting at each other on the freeways out here now during rush hour. Where are they going to go? That was from Divine. Okay, and Hoopy. Okay, Alice Little said underground. Barama Baba says demonic essence from other dimensions. Oh shoot. This is not cooperating. Oh, amen. Gaining. Divine Heady Community. Everybody is angry, so angry now. Lady Lotus is sweet. Divine Hoodie Community, not you, the possessed ones who that angry energy possesses, angry over nothing. Oh, well, see, the disagreeable spirits, they are angry because they too have an awakening. They are awakening that they have been lied to. They are awakening that they have believed in something that has been a lie about the people and our true worth. I mean, they're finding out that we are like sibyls. We're like demigods, or we're like a chosen people and this, that, and the other. So they're angry to even realize, regardless that they were lied to, but that we're worth more than their thoughts and their words. So yeah, they definitely have a lot to be angry about as far as that's concerned. But at the same time, there's no sense of being angry. They're supposed to utilize this time to repent. Mm. He is gaining knowledge by hearing us. Uh, not, let's see, not familiar with CERN. Me either. So I'm just waiting for one of the sisters to enhance our understanding or knowledge about what the CERN and what that's supposed to be. Lady Lotus. Alice Little says, I personally feel that no man can recreate dark matter. Because it already existed before he even existed himself. So how are you going to exist something that's unmeasurable, unconquerable? Um, yes, I agree. If that's has something to do with what you're all talking about, somebody recreating dark matter, yeah, I'm right there with you, Alex Little. That don't even make sense. That's just like them. Have you? This is just the first time I heard this, where they was saying that one of them billionaires purchasing the sun, the sun in the sky. I mean, really purchasing the sun. And then you have one person selling tickets because they're supposed to be creating this rocket to take to take them. What was it? Mars, Saturn, or someplace. Mm-mm-mm. Sell them a piece of the moon. See, what's so amazing? These people have the audacity to whitewash the true image and lineage on the temples or the pyramids, or whether if it's in the Nile Valley of ancient Kemet, or all the way down here to Kush, or with the Nubia. And then they have the nerve to whitewash it and say that the white man built these things. But yet they are spending so much time and effort trying to figure out they how they were supposed to build it. So in all actuality, you're falsifying your education, because to me, if you can't figure out how your ancestors built this, that, and the other, it sounds like your civilization, your generation, your millennium is dumbed down, not wiser. You're dumbing down, because now if you was one of our ancestors, I mean, the divine spirit actually showed me, what is this? Um, Actually showed me in a dream of how the pyramids was made. And then the spirit, I mean, I literally woke up cracking up. I was laughing so hard and for so long. I did dialysis that day. All I just wanted to stay home and just laugh all day long when the spirit showed me in a dream or a vision or an ascension, and showed me how the pyramid. And I'm still waiting on that opportunity to just like share with the spirit. But I know I was in a room with a bunch of white men, and I wrote down my vision, and they were like turning red as a beet. So I don't know. I'm gonna ask our divine mother if I can um um share it with in the chat room one day. Well, then other people will have access to it. So I don't know. I'll just see when she wants me, or there's an appointed time for sharing that information. But it's a clear as day that they cannot be the descendants of the people who were supposed to be so wise and so smart and so brilliant, and then say that they are the ones who built it, yet they can't figure it out. And if this nobility runs through our DNAs, whether you white or black or red or yellow, um, it was the opportunity, the cell or the atom that was there that created that type of knowledge would still be there, and it's something you wouldn't have to ponder, for long periods of time. So I just come to the knowledge that, well, they obviously are not the people that they portray to think that they are, because if that's the case, then they're getting dumber and not wiser. So okay, enough of that. Let me see. Is gaining knowledge by hearing us, not you. Okay. Alice Little, I personally feel that no man. Okay, I read that far. Alice Little, hoodie hippie, only so much can be assessed. Barama Baba, artificial portals to counteract the actual divine gates that has been opened for our greater good. Yes, Alice Little says knowledge is one thing, but application is another. Exactly. Divine Hoodie Hippie says CERN in Switzerland. Dark matter is just energy that has been converted into mindless, ill intention, sort of like Ghostbusters and the pink slime. that took on the energy of the majority. Okay, divine lady. Barama Baba says, like Beyonce opening up a church for the so-called empowerment of Black women. I mean, it's like it's a shame when people are being used and don't even know that they're being used. And I actually had a thought yesterday, and I hope it's just a thought and not a prophetic thought or a premonition. Um, but if you notice, when you start talking about the empowerment or enlightenment of a people that they're trying to keep in the dark, and then you start making connections with your ancestral culture, and you start going over there to Africa, and you start looking at Egypt and portraying some of your costumes as ma'at, um, just like unfortunately the king of pop, which is supposed to be in Michael Jackson, when he started sharing information about our ancient culture over there, they killed him. When let's see, what's his name? Um, right into my tongue. Who came at who they? The queen of the jungle was Whitney Houston because she was going to Dr. Sabi. They made sure that she was eliminated. Prince, who utilized the symbol of the Ankh and the eye, um, started revealing some things in reference to the Ancient of Days, and he was taking on his own responsibility of making sure that they do not utilize his music. But it was more about revealing things that they was trying to keep secret. They kill him. Now, yesterday I'm watching something that I don't normally watch a Beyonce, but one time it was a feed that came through one of my social media, maybe a year or two ago, where she had, opened up this church. And, those so many women, oh, they are so lost, where now they see her as, well, they already made her an idol. They are, and that she was like, come and worship me. When you start putting yourself out there like that, and whether if they are strategically using you, and you not know you're being used, I wouldn't be surprised if she's the next one on the list, because they're looking for an opportunity to create such vast hysteria, so they can call martial law, so they can implement martial law, so they can do that shutdown and completely transfer over into their so-called new world order. But these executive orders that I have to share with you all, um, um, today, well, probably tomorrow. Um, mm-mm. See, they'll allow you to build yourself up, 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 and the more followers that you receive, that you give, and they know that to take somebody like that away, well, it would be more painful to the women, more so than men, real men. But nevertheless, since women are starting to rise up with their knowledge of seeing themselves as significant, and that they have I'm just saying, I'm hoping that it's not, because I don't wish anybody any ill experiences. But, just looking at the pattern of what they've already laid down, um, in reference to taking those who are exalted and use them, and then create a situation, because they make blood sacrifices. they make sacrifices. Like uh, I don't, those are subjects for other days, but nevertheless, around artificial portals to counteract the actual divine gates that has been opened for our greater good. Alice Little, knowledge is one thing, but application is another. True that, Alice Little. Divine Hoodie says in Switzerland, dark matter. Oh, okay, I read that one. Barama, like Beyonce, opened up the church for so-called empowerment of Black women. Yeah, that's what got me off on a rant. Okay, it's Lady laugh aloud. I get it. Okay. Divine Hoodie gateways. Okay. Which is actually counteracting the restoration of the great divine matriarchy. Yes. Lady Lotus. Thank you. Hood Hippie and Baramna. Community heard of the that author. I heard of that author. Okay. I think I'm catching up with y'all now. Let's see. Alice Liz says, I believe in the portals. I think it's real. I've seen some things. Yes, I know they're real too. And as a matter of fact, on this journey of the remnant, we have to be in positions of those portals. Yes. Just watch. Now, let's see. Oh, wow, there's a lot going on here. That's what we are saying. Well, if they can control thoughts, then who needs money for war? Even better than religion from that perspective, just darn crazy. Yeah, Alice Little. China has allegedly launched a fake moon that is suspended by satellite. Uh, have you all ever noticed? I think for maybe like 4 years now, I noticed that around maybe 9 o'clock, from starting around 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, there be the sun over there, and then there be the moon over there. Have you all not seen the sun and the moon in the same sky all day long? Now, if this earth was round as a globe, like they portray it to be, then when it's daylight on this side of the earth, it is supposed to be dark on the other side of the earth because we have the greater light of daylight on this side, and the moon is supposed to be the lesser light on the opposite side. So, how is it that I can see the sun and the moon in the sky at the same time from 9 o'clock in the morning all the way until until maybe just a couple of hours in the wee hours of the night. You can tell that you can see the moon as long as it's dark, but then it disappears for maybe like 4 or 5 hours. Mm-mm. That's when I come to the conclusion that there has to be some truth that the earth can be round, but it must be flat. So I actually called, well, first I went on Google to get in touch with NASA because I was serious, because I was tripping. When I first saw it, I actually took pictures. I wonder if it's still in this phone, or am I going to have to look it up on my and every time I point it out to other people, it, unfortunately, it scares some people because they never noticed it. And then when I tell them, and I explain to them, can you explain to me how you gonna have the sun and the moon in the sky at the same time, and this earth be round, and if it's sunlight on this side, what? how is the moon going to be on the other side and be on this side at the same time? And those people need moonlight for at night. You know, good night. Let's see my pictures. Might be uploaded to my yeah, but I took those pictures a couple of times because I see it a lot. You know, I don't see it so much. Wait a minute. Let me catch up. Have you all ever seen that or noticed that? Oh, oh, okay. But anyway, exile Egyptians. Sub-Saharan Africa is to unlock the mysteries of the ancient Kemet, which is known as Egypt. This person is an indigenous Kemetic person whose family left Egypt generations earlier as a result of the Arab Muslim invasion. The person that they interview well, basically, the book starts off by saying that throughout the lives of each and of the people, we would hear like a gentle knock to get our attentions to be present in the mind and be aware of the things that our spirit guide is sending us and speaking to us and revealing to us. So to take heed to the gentle knots that we would normally tend to ignore. So in this book called Exiled Egyptians, a young person wrote a message to the group that they had. I don't know if it was a YouTube book of comments or but nevertheless, he had made a remark inside the group, advising them to look into the languages of the sub-Sahara Africa to help them unlock the mysteries of ancient Kemet, known as Egypt today. So this person is an indigenous person from the land and whose family left Egypt generations earlier as a result of the Arab Muslim invasion in 640 CE, what they call Common Era, and their subsequent brutal rule. So the Western academicians on the discussion group were quick to respond in their unusual, harsh way that this person was wrong. That reminds me, I had a friend from Congo, Africa. I took him to share his information. Um, yeah, I'm going to have to get this phone extension or video extension connected. Um, So this is Western academicians are telling the indigenous Egyptian. That's just like when I took a real African to an African American um, uh, class where an African American was teaching them about America. I mean Africa. So the information that he was giving out was not accurate So my friend from Africa decided to raise his hand to give his his expertise, because he was from the land from which he was speaking of, and to let him know he was in error and he wanted to share truth with him. The instructor or the teacher got offended and got upset and wouldn't allow him to speak anymore. So of course, me being Mama Lioness, I'm like, okay, excuse me, because if I raise my hand more than one or two times and you ignore me, I'm getting ready to take it personal. Now, how is it that I'm going to invite an African friend of mine to an African study group being taught by an African American, and then you have the audacity to not listen to the African that's coming forth from the land? Now, what is this? Ugh, these pop ups. Okay, are y'all still with me? Because Google something just tried to pop in and froze up my. Hmm, nevertheless. Okay. All right. So anyway, so that's what their habit is. They're gonna go around the world teaching about a people that they don't even respect or don't even acknowledge as the people who built this, that, and the other. And then going to have somebody who actually is indigenous to the land and tell them that they're wrong, and let their white lies be true. So the sub-Sahara Western Africa is the most populated part of the continent and includes Nigeria, the most populous African country in ancient times. Egypt was the most populated country in Africa. Now, Kemet, ancient Kemet at the northeast quarter of the continent is the second most populated African country. But we were always told, like in the trinity of the solar system, the sun, the moon, and the stars are the planets. They would say that the moon supposed to represent the mother, and the sun is supposed to represent the child, and then the planet, which you don't really never really hear about, the planet, I guess, would be Mother Earth. But according to our ancient Kemetic Nile Valley ancestors, from the top of Aswan all the way to the down to the fourth, fifth cataract, that is not how it was taught. Actually, the sun represents the mother. The sun represents the mother. The moon represents the father, and the planet represents the child. I'm here at Mama Lioness. Here. Oh, here's a flower. Is that what you're sending me? Barama Baba here. Okay. Yes, keep going. Mama Linus, we are 100% with you. Oh, I was like, okay. But, okay, so as it is below, above, so below. So the matriarchal society would actually view it, because, like, when you actually look at the attributes of the sun, okay, if the woman represents wisdom, which is the greatest light in order to be the architect of the universe and all the hosts thereof. So the sun not only does it give the greatest light, it also gives warmth. So warmth is like a feminine nature of compassion and embrace. Also, the rays, if you ever notice how the rays come down through the clouds and you can see like these different rays, um, in order for the earth to be able to reproduce, the sun rays are the ones that nurtures the ground and helps the seed in the ground grow, but not only with the rain, but at the same time, it needs that light in order to grow. So our ancient ancestors, from a matriarchal perspective, would place the woman as the sun and the father as the moon, because the woman is the greater light because she's the life giver. She's the life sustainer. In her presence, she is the source of life, and she sustains life and she gives life. Now, the lesser lights would be the father, just like how it has it in this book. Let's see if you all can see it. This is the planetary. Let's see. Okay, you see, right? Um, okay. Let's first you see the title: Matrilineal, Matriarchal Society. So if we're going to acknowledge ourselves as the matriarch, then we have to see it through the teachers of the matriarch and their manifestation. So it actually, like, this is the let me see, got my finger. Okay, so this is the moon, which represents father, father, the greater light with all the rays of different attributes leading to the planet of her and nurturing. This is the mother, you see, son, mother, and then the planet is child, not SON, but child. So from under there, so the ancient, our ancient ancestors were totally aware of the planetary laws, and the modern discovery and rediscovery of such laws were attributed to Johannes Kepler in 1571 through 1630, who himself boasted in print that he had keyword is he rediscovered the lost laws of Kemet, known as Egypt. So he was honest, but his followers were not honest. Kepler rediscovered that the orbit of the planet, the comet, about its sun is in the egg-shaped path, the ellipse. Each planetary system is balanced only when the planet's orbit is in an egg-shaped plane that has two faces. With this, the sun is the center of the mass at one of its faces, just like a woman and a source of beholding an egg within. You know how they say, which one come first, the chicken or the egg? So the creation stories in ancient Kemet and throughout Africa began with the cosmic egg. Um, and then the Hermopolis, known as in the our own ancient language is Kamunu, known as Hermopolis traditions. The cosmic egg contained the bird of light, which is the sun. And all planet comets follow the egg-shaped elliptical orbit with a sun at one facies. So likewise, on Earth, the female is the source of energy, the sun. The female is the sun, according to our matriarchs that were reestablishing their order in these days and this paradigm shift that we had uh, are being awakened to. So it is her power that keeps the planets, which are the children, each in its own independent orbit. That is to say that the matriarchal, matrilineal system follows the planetary laws. So the matriarchal system, as the social manifestation of the planetary laws, was the basis of social organization in ancient Kemet throughout the sub-Sahara Africa. All of these societies, whether discovered in East, Central, or West Africa, had the same in common. The queen sister and the queen mother had positions of great respect and and authority. Over much is given, much is required. So throughout the Kemet history, it was the queen who transmitted the solar blood. The queen was the true sovereign, the landowner, the keeper of royalty, and the guardian of the purity of the lineage. And the Kemetic kings claimed a right to the throne through marriage. Through marriage, they had to marry one of us in order to even be appointed on the throne. So it's not like men are born noble or royal. They can only get that through the marriage to the queen mothers. So the queen was the true sovereign, landowner, and keeper of the royalty and the guardian of purity of our lineage. And the kings claim a right to the throne through marriage with one of the Kemetic princesses. Though marriage, she transmitted the crown to her husband, he only acted as her co-executive, his executive agent. So they followed the example of Asar, who became the first pharaoh of Egypt, Kemet, as a result of his marrying a Set. A Set means the seat of authority. And Saptit, which is Cyrus, Sirus, is the dwelling star of Asat, and it is the sun of our sun. So Saptit, precise cosmic rule in our modern astronomy and physics is still unfolding. And some scholars suspect that Kemet knew that Saptit is the greater sun about which our sun and solar system orbits. So the Saptit, the Cyrus star, which is a Sat, the mother, is the son of sons. It's like the son of sons, the mothers of mothers, the cosmic queen. As a rule, and then this, so when you see right here, the seat on top of her head, that is the seat on top of her head. And then, let's see if I can you all can see. Okay, so this is the seat and eye, which is a star. So, as the rule in the tombs of ancient Kemet, Old Kingdom, the mother of the deceased represented with the wife, while the father rarely appears. So they done flipped the script. They got offended that the men's roles were rarely mentioned. So I guess they played tick for tat, and they decided. Okay, hold on. Well, wait a minute. Let me finish this. Kingdom and the mother deceased is represented with the wife, while the father rarely appears. On the funerary steles of later times, also, it is the usual accustomed to trace the descent of the deceased on the mother's side, and I have a whole another teaching where I can reveal the truth about how we got over to this man is the head of the household. But that's what I mean from the beginning. It was they knew that the lineage comes through the mother and it was never through the father, considering the father is an appointed position and not a solar position like the mother. So on that, the father, I mean, the deceased on the mother's side and not that on the father. The person's mother is specified, but not the father, or he is only mentioned incidentally, like in the Bible when it comes to us women. Tit for tat, tit for tat. They are so foolish. Surviving records from the Middle Kingdom shows that the gnomes, the prominence of Kemet, passed from one family to another through the heresies, the women. Thus, he who marries in heresies will gain for his son the inheritance of the father-in-law. So let me see. Somebody was okay. That's why the judge Greek wear dresses. Yep, preachers too. The Romans, the Pope dresses. Brahma, that's why men wear women garbs. Yep. Because they're jealous of us. I mean, they want such to be us. Look to the extreme. But you know what really aggravates me is to see, like, how you can have some of these um well, I guess they're the gay ones. Let's see, I don't know if bisexuals, I never really met a bisexual, but the LGBT, the L is for lesbian, the G, I guess, is for gay, the B is for bisexual, LGBT, the T is for transgender, the P is for pedophile, the Z is they like having sex with animals, bestiality, um, a bunch of stuff. So, but what really trips me out is this over dramatization, like the drama queen. I never even seen a woman in real life behave that way. So it to me is like an insult for you to be betraying yourself to be a woman, but yet women don't even behave that way. I mean, at least I haven't met any, unless they're on stage acting. But this is a stage. I mean, so you got all kind of characters on this stage of life. But nevertheless, moving right along. Let me see. Mother, that's why men wear women garbs. I'm mimicking the great mother. That's why men, yeah. I'm so happy to be here right now. Well, I'm so happy that you are here too, Alex Little. Let me see. Dr. Ray Hagen's taught me so much. You know what? I used to go because he used to come here to Atlanta, Georgia, and I used to go and intermingle with him. Um, I used to go and intermingle with him. But yeah, I love to share his videos, um, with people who are coming out of Christianity, just so they can, have something that they can relate to. Somebody who's used to be a preacher of their belief system, and the divine chose to awaken his heart and mind. I love a lot of his videos; they're powerful, and I love sharing it with people. Yeah, so I'm in there. Divine hoodie, the womb man. Yes, that's what separates us, our womb. There is now an attempt for uterus transplant. I know. Mm-mm-mm. See, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for them to utilize. Remember when they had like this transgender, what was a transgender, well, it was a real female taking male hormones, and then she had all the facial hair and the voice, and then they show her as being pregnant, like because she's supposed to be the man in the relationship. So the picture would project that a man is actually pregnant. If you don't actually read the article, you would think that a man was actually pregnant. But that just, opened up the door of them revealing to them what it is that they really want and the type of stuff that they're doing on the ground, creating these lifelike robots. I wouldn't be surprised if they plant one of those things in one of those robots, because I come across some disgusting videos on how real and the kind of talk dirty to me type of um, robots that can know they're just sick. They're just sick. But anyway, exaggerated the feminine essence. Yeah. Some transgenders, oh, something moved out the way. I can't see it. They are trying to be divas, black women dramatized. Yeah, but it's like I don't care what extreme they go to of transplanting, things in their bodies. Not, it's not lined up with nature. And whatever they produce, the divine know what she created, and the divine knows what is worthy to be uncreated. So I really don't ponder over that much anymore. Heard of penis envy? It's the other way around. Yeah, like they worship the phallus. I mean, the penis, but at the same time, their inner ego, their alter ego, is the woman. Huh. So that's the um that's the reason why the spirit revealed to me in the garden when they're talking about the serpent. The enemy is the seed of the serpent against the seed of the woman. Well, that serpent actually represents the sodomite seed. The um, uh, I guess the LGB, but actually it never started. It didn't have like the LGBT. It was just that the men who decided that they were wanting to be women because they of their own jealousy, that whole lifestyle of a sodomite, or what they call gays now today, um, is the seed of the serpent. Now we can go deeper into the representation. According to our ancestors, the serpent wasn't an evil symbol. It was actually a positive in reference, and all of that. But they take whatever was meant for good, that came from us, and turn around and use it for evil. But that's the whole purpose of having the opportunity to study, and research and be guided by the divine spirit who's going to lead and guide us to all truth. So let me see. Yes, it's really helped my awakening and transition. The message is held for review. The picture was misleading. He was born a woman, yeah, that had a double mastectomy and still had a vagina. Okay, so you know what picture I'm talking about. That whole article. Yeah. Divine, it says that they want the woman extinct, not the bee people, the woman. Oh yeah. I mean, the enmity is between the seed of the serpent and the seed of the woman. Yes. Um, Alex Little says, yes, some of this is out of control. They have sex brothels with blow up dolls. Why? And they're not even satisfied with the blow up dolls anymore. They got to actually have something to betray a woman, but be not a woman. To kind of like be there, but not be heard. Be there, but be used. Be there to be controlled. They don't want any talk back. unless you're feeding into their ego and their pride, uh, fake pride, fake falsehood, um, yeah, false pride, false ego, all of that. So it was serpent is infinity knowing. Yes, thank you, Barama Baba. And the wisdom of healing. Yes, Barama Baba. It's right there in their Bibles too. The cod, I don't know what that word is. Caducesis. I don't know what that word is. They even have lifelike babies. Just Evo. Yes, Alex Little. Um, Hoodie. That's why fakers like Tomo Sotomayor talks bad about B woman. It's propaganda. Yes. Whew. Boy. Yeah, we can go deep into yeah, so after this series is over, I'm gonna have to touch more into that because that's why fakers like, oh, okay, we watched his channel one time and blocked it. Who block who? That's why fakers like. So who's Tomo Sotomayor talks bad about black women? It's propaganda. He's an agent, he's a puppet too. I don't know who this person is, but if he's talking about black women, then he's an agent sent out, to continue on trying to create a situation for that gender war that they want going on. Because they know that they can't reach every black woman, but if every black woman has a black a man in her life, whether father, brother, or uncle or friend, out of the four, one of them is going to be able to be an agent for them and their agenda. Right, he is an agent. Oh, okay. Yeah, I never heard of that person, but I would not go to his website. Thank you for going before and preparing the way to close the door. So I know what he's all about. So, so basically, it's like the adversary and his spirit. Um, they're greed. They're not satisfied with what they have. They saw the beauty of the melanated woman, the cosmic manifestation of femininity in her essence, in her individuality, but yet the commonality of all women is to bring forth life, to be the life giver, the life sustainer, and the life reclaimer. And yeah, so we have no need to try to be equal to men when we are a womb above man. We birth them into the world, and we truly have the power and authority to say, I brought you into the world, we can take you out. Because that decision could be made right there in the womb, whether you're brought forth or you're brought not. So that kind of power, they just don't like it. They don't like it, and they're jealous of it. Right? He's an agent. The men fall for all that. The world stars, all those videos showing women at their lowest. It's not funny. Mm-mm. No. And I'm looking forward to the day that in a unified way across the nation, that each state in our lioness prides and lion as the protector, and the cubs, at least the ones who are old enough to attend, if they're not in school or being taught homeschooled, but to go to like here in Atlanta, Georgia, they have a city council. and twice a month, every other Monday, they will open. So the best thing to do, I found out, is to take a few people with you and have everybody signed up, and then you take turns, because this is going to be a continuous thing. Like if you take 4 or 5 people with you, that'll be 10 minutes. If everybody assign their minutes over and transfer it over to you, then you can speak longer. So that's the wise thing to do, because 2 minutes, that gone just like that. But I was able quite a few times, because I didn't know that there was a time limit. So I actually went there with a full page speech, but then I was told you only had 2 minutes. Ugh. So I, excuse me. I said as much as I could say, but nevertheless, so that's one of the um, paradigm shifts of activity that we will be doing as a lioness group pride, um, with our men, is to go and confront the system. We don't have to beg for anything. This is our opportunity to let them know. As a matter of fact, on my, I think on my radio show today, I might have covered some of the message that the divine spirit would want us to say in sequence. Um, what she's telling us to say. Did anybody listen to the oh, I didn't upload that one today. Oh, because I actually did it today. So I have to tomorrow or tonight, but I doubt if it's going to be tonight, because I'm getting sleepy. And that's a sure sign it is almost 3 hours. But anyway, we'll talk more about that, maybe through email or something. Um, Nevertheless, let me see. Uh, it's symbolic of wisdom to heal. Yes. I love being a woman. Never wanted to be anyone else but me. Yes, I'm divine. The message is held for review. What does that mean? In America, they use the white nude man with his arms stretched out and the serpents coiled around him, standing in a circle. Yeah, okay. And then Barack Obama also says, "Have you ever seen that symbol at Alex?" Oh, uh, it sounds familiar. Lady, look, I've seen it. You've seen in pharmacy. Oh, yeah, and that's also in the Bible too. It says like Moses took a pole and then had an image of a serpent wrapped around it, which is supposed to represent the pharmacy, or the physician, or supposed to be a symbol of healing in its natural form. And its original form, where it's supposed to represent the healing of, the serpent represents healing, like I think Barama or Alex Little had mentioned earlier. Uh-oh, you all, I can feel it coming down on me hard. Let me see. And yeah, it's supposed to represent medical or pharmaceutical, yeah, medical poison. This is deja vu. Yeah. So, oh, oh my goodness. So I'm getting ready to step away from the computer for about 5 minutes and heat up something. Well, at least put it on so it can heat up before I close out, so I can I haven't been. I noticed since I've been doing these series, I haven't been really eating properly. And then look what time it is when I decide to eat. I gotta change that. Mm, it's not good to be eating. Well, I don't eat like real heavy and then lay down, but I ate a little something earlier, but I only ate a couple of. Have you all ever had the vegan satay? It chews just like real meat, and it has like a teriyaki flavor of beef teriyaki, but it's not real meat. Yeah, I think I might eat one of those sticks. Drink a smoothie during shows. Yeah, because I can't eat or drink anything because I think the I'm having the issue with narcolepsy, so I can drink water. When I drink my smoothies, um, I'm just having some issues with staying awake. So the less I have in my system when I have to do my live taping is better because if I have something on my stomach or something that's going to make me feel comfy, I'm going to go. Whoop. I've been diagnosed with narcolepsy 4 years ago, but it seems to be getting more and more intensified with just eating a cracker or just eating a glass of water. You know, but those are information stuff that I can talk about another day. But I would love to have been sitting here drinking a smoothie, but I would go to sleep. I mean, it just, yes, Mama, we need you strong. Oh, thank you, Lady Lotus. Mm. But you know what? It's like what the divine spirit um, revealed to me. Because when I was on dialysis, I used to ask the Divine Mother to take away this affliction of being on dialysis. And one day I was sitting in the chair, and the Divine Mother, she has a habit of like closing my eyes, and then she'll take my hand, and then she'll open up the book, and she'll put my finger on what she's about to say to my spirit. And I'm going to uh, tell, excuse me, tell you what the Divine Mother said to me when I asked her over and over and over again to remove um, this here, that affliction of being on dialysis. Ooh, excuse me. Uh, ooh, excuse me, y'all. um, okay, let me see. Let me see. I'm trying to pull it up on, and hopefully you all can still see and hear me. Ugh, okay. Mm. So not there. I should just get up and grab my. I can probably go to. Okay. Okay. So I found. So when I open up my eyes and to read where my finger was, um, That's when the divine spirit spoke to me, and my finger uh, I like it in what do you call it? The good news version. Excuse me. Uh, Let me just get my book. Okay. So when I asked when I asked our divine mother and she put my finger on her answer to my request, it literally said, um, but to keep me from being puffed up with pride because of the many wonderful things that she was showing me, uh, element, which acts as the messenger of the adversary to beat me, and to attack me and keep me from being proud. 3 times I asked our everlasting parent about this and asked her to take it away. But her answer to me was, my grace is all you need, but my power is greatest when you are weak. And I am most happy, then I am most happy when happy then to be proud of my weakness in order to feel the protection of our divine, everlasting, eternal parents power over me. So I am content um, with I am content with um, insults or hardship or persecutions and difficulties for awakening's sake. For when I am weak, then I know I am strong. And that carried me through until she was ready for me um, to receive my healing. Let's see. Oh, I must have missed something. Peace hit me. Alex Little have to sign off first day of school tomorrow. Oh, I missed that. Mama Lioness. Oh, okay. So everybody's ready to thank you. Call it a night. Lady Lotus from Mama Lioness, Lady Lotus. I love you. Love you too. Love all of you. Thank you for being here. And Barama Baba, you are the Mama. Oh, thank you, Lady Alice. Yeah, thank you all for being here. So you can tell my speech is getting slurred and I'm like barely hanging on in here. I probably just go, yeah, probably won't even. Stay smothered and covered in our everlasting embrace of divine protection, provision, counsel, and comfort. And may you have a divine journey through the solar and the cosmos and awaken, refreshed, revitalized, and revivified and resurrected to your divine truth of your essence and your um, presence to be here. So I'll say good night.